Good morning, ladies and gentlemen. Welcome back to the Lottery Club. So, after looking at last game, the last lottery game, I've come to realize that there was a better analogy instead of using Mrs. Jones with her gun shooting at targets. I've realized that this is more like a stockbroker advising where the bubble or where the next bubble is going to be, and I was right on the last bubble, and that bubble was 9 through 14, and it came out to to be coming very accurate and very close, and in fact I even suggested 14, and 14 did come up. So let's change the analogy from now on to me being a stockbroker advising you where to buy your next stock. In the last two predictions, in fact they're my first two predictions, one for August 18th and the other one for August 21st. The one for August 18th, I've decided that 8 was the hot number for that particular game. The one for August 21st was the number 14. And what I found was in a general area, pretty much a cold set of numbers that suddenly became hot. It was due to hit those kind of range of numbers, which is 9 through 14. So what I'm going to show you is how I came across that and where the next hot target is going to be. At this point, you'll be able to figure out with some confidence where to choose the next line of numbers. Okay, let's go ahead, and what we'll do is we'll start off with the number wheel. Now, before I move forward, guys, I really need you guys to look at the predictions that I had August 18th and also for August 21st. And the reason why is because it'll be too long a video for me to kind of explain why I was able to choose particular lines, or in this case the hot bubble, right? Okay, so here we have a number wheel, and we're gonna start off this time instead of July 27th, I believe. We're gonna start with August 21st, 2021, and the numbers that were basically in that kind of like hot zone or the bubble was 9 through 14, in which 14 was the number that was going to come up. And again, you've got to look at the last video to understand that I actually chose that before it was predicted. All right. Okay, so in this case, it hit the target. All right, as you can see. All right, so there was also within this long line a number, another number that was hit, and that number was, there you go, 11. All right, so 11 was hit, and the result was 1, 5, 8, 11, 14, and 29. Now, the game before, which is August 18th, I chose the number 8. And again, you've got to look at these videos and understand why I chose these numbers. So the number 8 and the line of 9 through 14, this was the general hot area, right? So it was cold for the longest time, and now this is a hot bubble, right? So let's kind of move forward, and let's see, does the 8 get hit? Yes, it does. And there's your result for August 18th, 8, 15, 18, 21, 28, and 30. Okay, so you will notice that again, if you were to look at the video back then, what I did is I kind of gave it a range of anywhere between 8, 9 and 13, 14. And on August 18th, it ended up missing the 14 with 15. That's how I knew that 14 was due heavily for the 21st. All right, so Let's go ahead, and what we'll do is we will kind of have a look at these long line of numbers, which is 1, 5, 8, 11, 14, and 29, and you will notice that 3 of these numbers hit. All right, so 8 hit, 11 hit, and 14 hit. Okay, so again, long line of numbers, and those are the 3 numbers, and I was able to figure out that this bubble was going to be hot. And lo and behold, it did pick off these numbers, right? Okay, now the issue here is also for August 21st. I also had a prediction because it was a long line of numbers, which is 32 through 37, and unfortunately, 32 through 37 missed, right? So that makes this game for August 25th pretty hot, but we need a confirmation. And guess what? Here is the confirmation. All right, 31, 32, 33, 34, and 35. So the long line of numbers, which has close to 100% of being struck or hit, now confirms the 32 through 37, making 32, 33, 34, and 35 pretty hot, right? Okay, now let's go to something that is really exciting, really exciting, okay? Now, 2 things that the lottery likes to do, right? The first thing is any long line of numbers, the lottery wants to kind of break them up, right? It's like Mrs. Jones, shooting for a target, and it's a pretty big target. She's not a great shot, but she's good enough to, hit pretty much at on the edge. That's why I predicted either 32 or 37. But here you will notice that these numbers are arranged pretty neatly, and again, the lottery is not meant for anything to be neat, right? And what are those neat numbers? Well, you'll notice that there are numbers that kind of have these kind of little gaps, right, by 2. So that's an organized structure, and again, the lottery is about chaos, and so it's going to look at something like this, and it's going to try to scramble it up as much as possible, right? So we have 36, 39, 42, 1, 8, and 11, right? And each one has a number in between, or 2 numbers in between. That's your nice, clean kind of structure, right? Okay, so that now puts these numbers here, which is 34, 35, 37, 38, and so forth. You get to see it in these arrows. These are the hot numbers. These are the bubble where the lottery is going to somehow scramble them, all up, so it would select every one of these. Now, there's a lot of numbers here, obviously, but as I move forward, you will notice that looking at things that were overdue or cross-referenced, we'll be able to go specifically to areas that will give you good idea as far as where to go. All right. Okay, so let's have a look. Let's go ahead and we'll black everything out. All right. Okay, so here you will see that anything in white has a high probability of hitting, and what we got to do is we just got to kind of like cross-reference numbers that were either heavily due, missed in the past, and I'm going to show it to you highlighted in yellow. All right, so let's go to the next part right here, and let's start with the number from earlier where we found the first cross-referenced numbers, which happens to be 34, 35, 36, and 37. So we could probably safely remove 36 out. Not saying that's going to be the case, but to play it safe, take 36 out and choose one of the 3 numbers, which happens to be 34, 35, and 37. But looking at the number wheel from before, it looks more like it's either going to be 34 or 35. So 34, 35 may be the number that you should choose for August 25th, 2021. Okay, let's go to the next highlighted, yellow highlighted area. All right, again, the next bubble. All right, now in this case, again, you have to look at the last video, and you'll notice that I gave out 2 targets, one of which I guessed 14 to hit, which confirmed, with that long line of numbers. But there was another target there, and the target was where I had 40, 41, 42, 43, and 44. That's the last game, and it missed. So what that does is it makes this round, again, pretty hot. And remember, this was a structure or an organized structure that needed to be scrambled. So you could look at past results that has missed that would make this particular time pretty hot for any of these numbers to hit. So again, you could choose either one, 40, 41, 43, or 44. And what I would probably do is I would probably choose something along the lines of maybe a 40 with a 42, possibly, because it tends to hit the red target. Or maybe 41, 42, or obviously 42, 43, or 42, 44. Okay, so within that range, and you could probably put 2 of these numbers in. Same thing goes with the 34, 35 with the 36. All right, so there's a possibility 36 can hit, combined with either 34, 35, or 37. All right. So let's go to the next hot zone, and this is something that's been aching to be struck or hit, and this one is 6, 7, 9, and 10. All right. So again, the same kind of thing, and remember, lottery doesn't like anything structured, so that now puts 6, 7, 9, and 10 as something that's very strong. And again, you could do the same thing. Now, there's a reason why I only give you like 3 sets of numbers, right? If you look at the lottery, it's not spread out equally or evenly, right? So you'll always notice that there is some number that is kind of next to each other, right? So, for example, let's say 8, comes up, right? So when you look at 8. It could be 7 and 8, or it could be 6 and 8, or 8 and 9, or 8 and 10. Same thing, obviously, where you're looking at the 42 with the 2 numbers on each side, and the same thing, obviously, with 36 with the 3 numbers on the side. All right, so these are numbers that you would want to pay close attention to, and kind of guess where you think. And remember, this is you using your imagination, following a certain kind of rule that the lottery has, right? And again, my job here is to make sure that I expose the bubble for you, and you could just kind of invest in however you want to invest it. All right, so either way, this is the result for August 25th, 2021. Please bet very, very smartly. Don't go crazy. And most importantly, for me personally, so I can continually do this for you guys, press that subscribe button. All right. Anyway, good luck on the next game. I hope you guys win. I'm going to be playing it too. All right. Bye.